Nathan is someone who I think represents what we're looking for, a self-feeder. I'm going to let Nathan share a little bit about what's been going on in his life.
Thanks, Pastor Abel. So Pastor Abel came up to me and said, love for you to share how you know God. And I was like, well, first of all, I don't know if I know God, right? But what I can do is share my journey and how I'm trying to get to know him. And so my journey really started about several years ago when I went shopping for a ring. And the person I was shopping for this ring for dumped me. And, those of you who have been through breakups know it's very hurtful, right? I felt rejected. I felt that I didn't belong. I just didn't know what was going on. I really had no idea why I was going through, why God has put me through this. And so I went soul searching. I went to go and see, try to find out, why is it that I'm here where I am? And so somebody invited me to church, to GRX, and so I came. And so for about 3 years, I've been coming to church, never really accepting, never really being Christian. But I kind of lived the poser Christian lifestyle, right? So that meant was, I come to church, I go to small group, I hung out with Christian friends. It was kind of cool because, on Saturday nights, I go clubbing with them, and then Sunday morning, I go there again, right? So that was kind of nice, it wasn't too bad. And, but, all this time, I just never able to accept. And a lot of people just tried to, ask me why, and, there was really three main reasons. First is that I had questions, right? I had a lot of questions about, Christianity and about God and, things, I had questions like, why does God allow suffering in the world? When I asked these questions, people would give me answers, like, for the glory of God. And I was like, what kind of crock answer is that, right? Glory of God, what is that? I'm not a believer, I don't care. And so that was a really big thing for me. And then the other thing was that, even if, I got some of these answers, it was really hard for me to get the emotional side of things. I never actually ever experienced God. Like, I never felt him. And that was important. You can get the intellectual side, but I really got to get the emotional side of things. And so, the last reason was, accepting Jesus into my life was a relationship. And I knew that, unless I can do this relationship, unless I can go 100%, there's just no way I can do this, right? And so that was just the way it was for me. And so about a year ago, I started to re-ask these questions, and I met somebody, and this person was actually able to answer the questions, the same questions I had, but this time instead of giving me like the textbook answers, the glory of God or whatever it may be, she was able to give me answers with love and compassion, and that made all the world of difference, right? And not only that, my small group was there to help me out as well, and they start, there was a lot more care, and it just made, when someone wants you to see the answers, not through your eyes, not through man's eye, but through God's eyes, it just makes a world of difference, right? They say, it's not about how much you know, it's about how much someone cares, right? And I had people that care for me, right? And so about during the time, Pastor Dave had the service, and there was a bunch of 2x4s in front. And he's actually asked us to come out and write the names of people that he wants to see saved. So I went up, and I wrote a couple of my friends down, and I actually wrote me. I only wrote M-E, right? I was kind of a little embarrassed. I was like, I didn't really want to write my name down. But I went back to my seat, and Pastor Dave asked us to pray for these people that you wrote down. And so I went down, and I prayed for my friends, and I started to pray for myself, and then all of a sudden, I can actually feel, without actually ever knowing, my friends coming up and writing my name down. And so my name has probably been down on this 2x4 several times. And that was like the first time I actually experienced God. I can actually feel God's love through my friends and through my small group, and they were all praying for me. They were all praying for me to be where they are, to be saved, and to just really feel this. And at that moment, I finally realized that God was real, right? So about a week or two later, I was sharing this with my friend, and she saw a lot of potential in me and whatnot, and she says, Nathan, I can't wait for you to become Christian. And we hung up the phone, and that very moment, I said my prayer, and I asked God to be in my life. And that was December 1st, 2006, so it was just a little bit over a year ago. So you think, like right after I accepted, things would be going great. God would bless me, hey, you're in my life, bam, right? Next day, the very next day, right, the person I thought I was supposed to spend I was supposed to spend the rest of my life with. The person I thought God wanted me to be with, right, told me it wasn't going to happen. There's just no way. And all of a sudden, I had that rejection again. I felt, I felt like this little bird that, just hatched. And, I was that little bird, and God just dropped me. And he dropped me hard, right? And, at one point I thought I was going through major depression. I go online, start answering those, depression tests, and, I start answering 10 out of 10, right? I mean, when you answer 10 out of 10, I realize you're not supposed to really take those online, tests too seriously. But, it's kind of hard, you got 10 out of 10, you got major depression, And so, I didn't know what to do. So, on January 1st, I went for this 26-mile run. And I know a lot of you think, 26 miles, what, are you crazy? Yeah, I don't know. But I went on this run, I was asking questions, and I was asking God, I was talking to God, I was praying to God, I was just, God, why'd you do this to me? Why, right? I just very basic question of why, why am I here? What's my purpose? What is it that you want from me, right? And I realized that, I may never really know my purpose, and I may never really know, why God's put me here right now and where I'm going, but what he's doing right now is like he's telling me to be prepared, right? Just be prepared for whatever it is that I'm going to call you to do. I need to prepare, right? So what does that mean? To me it was praying. It's pray, and pray some more, right? And and I really needed to pray because I was going through that huge hurt, that huge heartbreak, and I need to go to him to heal me. And I started reading the Bible. I started this one-year Bible reading plan. I started in January. It's now December, and I'm not quite there yet, right? But but that's what I've been doing. And so, so it's been about like I said, it's been about a year. And during this time, God's called me to do a couple things. First of all, I don't know if God really calls me because I think sometimes my phone's on mute. He's like calling. I'm just not listening. My phone's mute. I just don't know. But what he has done is that he's put me into these things where I've been doing a couple of things. I've been leading a secret small group, and at first I was just like, why would I lead a secret small group? First of all, I don't know these answers to these tough questions people have, right? I don't know why they're suffering. I don't know why, how creation, evolution works together, right? These are really hard questions. You need someone that's like a little more deep-founded to know these kind of, to answer these type of questions, right? And then he's also asked me to lead a BSF discussion group. And I'm like, BSF is like Bible Study Fellowship. We kind of go in-depth study of the Bible, right? And I'm supposed to like disciple these guys to greater faith. And I'm like, dude, I just started my faith. How am I supposed to lead people to greater faith if I just started, right? And then like in the summer, I went to Cambodia on a medical missions trip. And I tell my friends this, and they're like, wait, you're not a doctor. Yeah, I know. It's just, well, what are you going to do? I says, I don't know, pretend to be a doctor? I didn't know, right? But, I mean, the only thing I can do is that, somehow God has called me to do all these things. And the only thing I can really do is just obey. And to me, just to obey God is to know God, right? And I realized that, God's never asked for my capabilities for things. He's only asked for my availability. Thanks.